Well, now we're going to go back to decimals, and we're going to focus in more on combining decimals together. So adding and subtracting decimals. So this is kind of a review. How do we show 1/10 of the decimal grids? So I have 4 different grids. Shaylin, what's the first one? You don't have to crank your neck so much. Yeah, the tenths. And then the next grid is broken up into, thousandths, and then 10,000. So let's get out our highlighter. Can someone show me what tenths are? I'm gonna get rid of this. Here we go. Let's see that. Kaylee, you want to show on the first one, the tenths grid? That's okay. Oh, very good. Do you guys agree?
That's 3.
Oh, wow, you should kept going. So do you see 2 tenths? Kayla, what do you think of that? Do you agree with them? Is that 2 tenths? Okay. So what would you need to do to make it 1/10? Yeah. If you look on the slate, you see the eraser? You are a natural at this. This is really good, Kayla. All right. Nice job. Okay.
Can I try?
So that's 1/10, right? Let's see 1/10 on the hundreds grid. Who can show that? Okay, let me get my highlighter out again. Who's never had a chance?
Me.
I
never.
Me. Asia, let's have you do. So 1/10 on the hundreds grid.
Not like you're finger with the pen.
Okay, so the highlighter.
Not like you with the
highlighter. Oh, you didn't. To get the highlighter, it's kind of harder. There's a couple steps to find the highlighter. So if you make a mistake, do what Kayla did, and erase after you're finished. Okay. So I'll get the highlighter again. I'll show you guys. So you have to go up here to the pen.
I already know.
Oh, good. That's right. I'm just selecting. And then to get rid of that thing, I just make a dot outside. Okay, ready? Alright. But we saw it, right?
Yeah.
Is that 1/10? Okay. What would it be for the thousands?
Ooh.
Well, can you tell me?
Just say one
It would be the same, wouldn't it? And for the 10,000?
Same thing.
It would be the same. So what would you call those? Is it still called 1/10?
Yeah.
Yeah? Could you call them something else? Do you guys know? So think about, so if this is 1/10, you guys all were in agreement there, and that's 1/10 right there. Could you call it something different? Talk to your buddies.
Wait, what? 100. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He goes to Bobette, and then Bobette calls me. Yeah. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, bye. Okay, so are there other names that you could give these?
Yes.
All right, let's hear some of these. Is there any say?
No, I actually have a question.
Okay.
You know in the thousands how it has tens inside one square? They have to color one strip of it?
Wait. In the thousands?
Yeah.
They call it, say that
They
again?
have they have like one of the 10 squares in each square. So
That's
then
right.
don't you have to color 1/10 inside a square?
Oh, so you're actually actually taking issue with this. You don't agree. You think, I don't know if I can use a highlighter for that. Let me use a pen. You think, and I gotta use a really steady hand. You think that that's 1/10. Is that right?
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, that is true because
It's just making
that's 10
No,
in one
it's
square.
1,000.
That's thousands. Yeah.
It's 1,000.
Well, let me
No.
ask you this question. What's one whole?
One.
When we're looking at this thousands grid, what's one whole?
One.
What would be the whole? Can someone trace it up there? Shaylin?
Yeah.
Show me one hole on the thousands grid.
Uh,
I might have to stand up to do this.
I don't know. The whole thingy?
Yeah, the whole thing is one whole, right? So if we're talking about breaking it up into tenths, how many pieces would you have? How many total pieces if you break it into tenths?
10.
10 pieces. So Berenice, if I were to color in these little tiny pieces that you're talking about, would we have a total of 10?
No.
How many would we end up having? There's, 1,000 because there's 10 of them in one square. And then how many squares are there? So it'd be 10 times 100.
Equals 1,000.
So that would equal 1,000 pieces. That's why we call this the thousands grid, because those little sections are broken into 1,000. Does that make sense? So let me go back to my original question. Well, before, do you agree that this is 1/10?
Yes.
Why?
Because do you know that each one of those is broken into 1,000?
Because each of these little pieces is broken into thousands, and if we continue to break this into the same equal pieces, how many would we have total?
10,000. Which is this one?
Oh, I think you misheard the question. If we continue to break this section here, if we broke up the same equal pieces in this whole thousands grid, how many total pieces would we have?
10.
We'd
Ten.
have
Oh, yeah, 10.
So that's why we say that it's 1/10. Let's see if you agree with this. So let's take a moment to absorb this, because I know this is kind of a lot. So, on our tens grid, this is how we write 1/10, right? And we can write a fraction, 1/10, right, Billy? And then we say 1/10. So are we all good here? We agree there. Let me draw a star there just so we can keep track. We all agree with that. I might have gone through that too quickly. Asia, do you agree with that? Yeah, Pietro? Yeah, you agree? Okay. No confusion? Everyone's with me? Okay, so let's move over to the hundreds. We want to start off with smaller pieces, right? Start off with the tenths and then go into the hundreds, which is not smaller, but a little bit, well, smaller than the tenths. There we go. Okay, so we have the same tenth here, but now we've got an extra 0 on the end. How do we say that?
10,000? Or 10 hundreds?
10 hundreds, yeah. And we see a fraction, 10 over 100, so the denominator changes to 100 because now we have 100 pieces, and we call it 10 hundredths. Okay, so are we all in agreement there?
Yeah.
Did the value change?
No.
How do you know the value didn't change? Evan? So I'm asking, is this equal to this?
Yes.
Not equal. Can you explain why?
Because the hundreds has more
The hundredths has more what?
squares.
Oh, it does. It's broken up into smaller pieces. But is it not equal? So are you saying that this one here is greater than tenths because it's got more pieces? You guys agree with that?
No.
Oh, good. Can I have someone say what they're thinking? So, Devin, I like that you're disagreeing. I guess you didn't disagree. The rest of the class is disagreeing with you. Would you be able to have a conversation about that? No? Let's hear from some people who disagree. Destiny?
They're all equal because it's just like adding a poster.
Say that real loud because I'm not sure everyone heard this.
They're all equal because it's just like adding a zero.
It's like adding